Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share um, a game from the Parma Chess Club Championship. I was not doing too well in the championship, but I decided to go ahead and play the final round anyway. So this is round four that I played against Abram Keith DeGarden, um, who is normally in the 1800s, but currently he is 1730, and I was rated 1710. So, okay. So it started out with knight to f3, a flexible move. I played d5. He went d4. So I just went knight f6, which is my normal move. And then he played knight b to d2. So when I see this move, I'm a little suspicious, but white can play this way. They can play flexibly. They can still go for g3, c4, and go for a Catalan. They can play e3, c3 for a Kali. London system might be off the table now that this is blocked, but okay, it's just a flexible approach. I'm not sure what setup he's going to do yet. So I went c5, just fighting for the center right away, and he played c3. I don't think that he can hold on to the pawn. I was looking at lines like this. I don't think this works out, because if we go down this road, probably just b6 here would be just fine. And it's gonna become difficult to hold that. I'm seeing what the engine wants. Yeah, it actually wants like bishop to b2 or c takes b6, and it says the position's equal, so that's kind of what I thought too. So I didn't think holding onto the pawn for an advantage would work, so I was right about that. Bishop to f5. Let's just get the bishop on the best square outside the pawn chain. Notice that I won't play this move if white can play like c4, queen b3, especially in one move. But here I was not afraid of queen b3 because I can just play queen b6. Now if he trades, I'm totally fine with that. And yeah, if he plays c4, I can always take. Yeah, this seems fine to me, so that's why I played this. So he went g3, e6. Okay, we're just developing. Bishop g2. And okay, I knew that the knight was probably best on c6, but I came up with like a middle game plan here that I wanted to execute. So I was seeing that white is going to probably, castle and go rook e1 and play for e4. I mean, that would be very natural. And when I used to play that way myself back in the day, I would have a pawn at c4 though. But then this pawn would be on c6. I used to hate it when people would occupy the e4 square because it would stop my idea. It was very annoying. So that is what I intended to do here. So I played this move so that my knight can sort of support the knight, and I just want to control and occupy e4. So that was my idea. Castles, bishop e7. I told him that after the game that I always thought that was really annoying, and he said he agreed with me. He's like, yeah, that was annoying. I knew I was good at being annoying. Okay, so knight e4, my idea. I think if I castle, he'll just play e4, and he's gonna get a position that he's comfortable with. Actually, he can't even go e4 yet, I don't think. Yeah, actually, he doesn't have enough yet. But he could play like this, maybe. No, I could still jump in. So I was wrong about this. I could have just castled. But I jumped in immediately. I still think this is fine. He takes, I take. And this is sort of the point, that bishop on g2, if I can trade that off, I'm at least equal, I would think. And he allowed it, because kind of what else do you do as white? Okay, and then I took on d4. Now, I'm not sure if this is the best way to play the position, but I figured let's take and castle, and I can play rook c8. So I liked this. So I just castled. I wanted to see what he would do, and he does get e4, but yeah, it's not as good now because now it will isolate his pawn, right? So I just take it, and now I've got this IQP to work with, and this is not a good IQP position. Because in an IQP position, you want to have lots of pieces and you want to play actively. Black's the one that is a little more coordinated already. So I feel like that pawn's just weak, and it's on the open D file where I can pile up my pieces and win the pawn. So that was the plan. Very simple. Yeah, and I even thought this is good. Like, I've already got my bishop and my queen focused on it. I should just pile up on the D file. Kind of a simple idea. So check. Queen f3. Yeah, I'm happy to trade queens, I think. I can just proceed. He did take and rook ed1. So I think he really likes trading. And then later, after the game, one of his longtime colleagues was telling me how Abram, who a lot of people call Keith, loves the endgame, and that's sort of like his best thing is the endgame. So I think he was trying to get an endgame here where he could just hold. I mean, I even asked him after the game, I'm like, you traded a lot. It seemed like you just wanted a draw. He's like, yeah. He's like, I did. It's like, okay. I like to win, but that's just me. Okay, so rook a d8. All right, so I have a comfortable advantage, I would say. I'm just going to win that pawn. He's going to try to get some counterplay. So in this part of the game, I actually started to get slightly concerned because I've got back rank issues, possibly. And also he can infiltrate down the C file and start attacking my pawns, right? So I needed to work this out, and I ended up going with king to f8. I don't think it's the best move. I think the engine liked e5 right away. Yeah, and I should have played this move, I think. I do not think he can take because he's pinned, right? We just want a rook. He can win this pawn, I guess. Oh, wait, I would probably take. He can win this pawn. But then we just go here. Right, so we win this pawn. Yeah, this is rook versus bishop, and it's just winning. Yeah, I don't really see how it's not winning. So I could have done that. He probably can't even take e5 here when I play this move, but then I'll play this. That looks very good as well. That looks, yeah. So I think maybe I should have played that way. It's more precise, but I just went king to f8, and I just figured if he infiltrates now, I can play rook d7 and king e7, and I didn't see any way for him to get my pawns. So he does do this, which makes some sense. So I just block. I think trading rooks will benefit me because I'll still have enough to attack this pawn and win it. So he goes here, and now I think it's just time to take, so I did that. Takes. Check. And king to e7. I don't think he can win any pawns over here. Like, if he tries to go like this, I just go h6. If he tries to go here, just king f6 was my idea. And if he comes in after that, It looks a little scary to have these rooks behind me, but I don't think they can do anything really. I mean, there's nothing to do, right? I've got everything protected. I can just play a6. This rook's doing a great job protecting. I've got the king protecting. I don't see any problems here, and I could probably just get counterplay, and when I'm ready, just double here like this, and nom nom nom. Win some pawns that way, I would think. So I think that's fine. Let's see what the engine says about this. Oh yeah, it says black's winning, -5. Okay, yeah, that's what I felt too. All right, so he just comes back. Now my rook's pinned, so I can't move it away or anything. But I could just play here. Let's attack the b pawn, so he blocked it. Okay. And now in this position, I mean, I'm up a pawn, so trades benefit me, so I should just take. And now his rook is back on c2, so it's a little more passive again. And now we try to convert the position. Now, I'm not the best at converting positions. I don't get positions like this very often. But I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I'm going to take space on the king side, and I think what I wanted to do was get a pawn on h5 and a pawn on e5 to control these squares. And then if I could also get f5, it would control this square, so that white king would be unable to infiltrate the position. So that was kind of my plan with my pawns. These guys don't matter so much, at least for now. Yeah, so I wanted to do that and then bring my king up more. So I started with this, e5, king e6. Yeah, because if he goes here, I'm still going to get this. But now it will be with tempo, so he just goes here, and I went f5. Okay, and I wasn't totally sure during that game if I was doing the right thing with my pawns, but I think so. f3, b5. Okay, I think b5 is maybe inaccurate. In the game, he played rook c5, which allowed me to play a6, and now it's fine. But actually, b5 may have been a slight mistake because of check, and if I block here, he gets this. Now, I could just do this, but then, you know, I don't want to draw, right? I don't want to draw, so I don't want to do this. And if I move my king up, he could play here maybe. I don't know. I mean, he's getting counterplay. So I don't think I should have allowed this at all. I should not have played b5. I should have just played a6 first. I mean, I don't see like why I need to be in a hurry here. I do not need to be in a hurry. Because it's not like white has anything they can really do. So, all right, so, but I did play this and he didn't play the variation I said. So now he plays it, but now it's different because with the pawn on a6, I can just play rook d6. This move isn't so deadly anymore because, or deadly, it wasn't deadly before, but it has even less of a punch now because he does play it, but I can just play g6. I see no problem with this. If he goes here, you know, I just go here. This is fine. So I've got everything covered. Yeah, and on this move, I just get my king active. And this is what I was trying to accomplish. I wanted my rook to cover my two weak pawns and sort of hold the position together and then get my king more active. So that's what I was doing. Now eventually though, maybe this is the wrong way to play because there were two masters that were analyzing, actually three, analyzing with me after the game, and they were all telling me that the way to try to win this position up a pawn is to create a passed pawn. Now, my idea was I just want to trade rooks. And they were like, okay, well, that is true. Like, you want to trade rooks, but white can avoid trading rooks for the most part. So the way to win is to make a passed pawn. So the idea that I should be going for is like king f6 and g5 and try to make a passed pawn that way. And then, of course, try to get counterplay with my rook, or just play, I guess, on an open file or infiltrate, and then, of course, try to trade rooks. So those three things are my objectives. So king d5 maybe not the complete right way to play, but lucky for me, my opponent retreated rook c2. So now I can play here because I want to trade rooks. He checked me. Okay, I come back. Now I'm ready to do that plan again. And b3. So, I mean, it's hard to fault white because, I mean, this is one of those positions where it's just best to do absolutely nothing. Like the masters were saying white could just play here, just waiting, just do nothing at all. Just do nothing. I mean, it continues to guard the infiltration of the rook. So this is how white should play, and instead my opponent's like, I need to do something, which, I mean, I might do the same thing because I'd be worried. But b3, I feel, is a mistake because now I can infiltrate. Yeah, and this makes it way too easy for me because now I get my wish to trade rooks. And a king and pawn ending up a pawn, I mean, it's almost always winning. You know, especially with this many pawns. So I just take. I think had he played, you know, something like this, it would have been a lot harder to win. Like, I'm not sure what I would do here. I give a line. Okay, in this line I would win that pawn. That should be winning. So he can't really do that either. He should just do nothing, I think. So, like, what if he just does this? I don't know. I mean, I guess I could play here. I don't. Maybe I should do nothing too. But I kind of like the idea of having that protected. If he keeps doing nothing, maybe I do nothing. Oh, that's the engine. Engine gives rook c3. Okay, let's do nothing. Then it gives e4. Yeah, so we're making a passed pawn. That's sort of the idea. And okay, so now we've got this passed pawn and we've got a threat of e3 check. So this is the way the game should have gone. From here, it's a little bit more of a try from white. It sounds funny that doing nothing is the best try, but it just is. So instead he tried to do something, never do something. He traded, so. Okay. But now this should be winning. I have the opposition. He went a3. I went a5. All right, king e3. Now he's doing nothing. I probably could go e4 here. It's probably still winning. Not totally sure about that. Let's just say we get something like this. Yeah, this is winning because the king has no good moves now. I guess he could check, but that will allow me to get in. Like this move. Actually, I just win that. Never mind. It's not. That's not good at all. He could try this, I guess. But then maybe I just go here. The king has to step back and let me in now. He could get the opposition, but I would play e3 check, I think. So let's see what the engine says. Yeah, e3 check will just be winning. Yeah, like this. So none of that actually works, but okay, in the game, I decided to play this a4 move because I saw a winning line here. After he takes, I can just take back. And he plays here, but now I can just play e4. Yeah, he cannot take it, I don't think. I have two good moves. That should be good, and that should be good. I probably would play here, because why not? So he tried this one, but then here I saw line 2 where I can just take and play king c4. And I think Brian Castro will be happy about the next thing, because you know, it pays to play tournaments and look at your games and learn from them, which we know. But when the same exact situation comes up like a week later, it's always a very pleasing experience, and that's what happens here. So now I calculated this out, and I saw that I'm going to win the endgame. Like, if he just does a race, black will win. White's just way too slow here, right? Just way too slow. I mean, I don't even know if I'm doing this the best for white, but it's just way too slow. So it's not going to work. So I saw that, and then I also saw that he could play what he did in the game, which is king e3. Now, this exact thing happened in King's Island, and I could have won the game, but instead I got to draw that game tragically. But this time I got to do it. So if you watched that video, which I believe I posted the other day, there's a variation very similar to this where I was afraid I would get in zugzwang, and then, oh no, I have to play f4, and then they take, and I have to play g5, and then white wins. But actually, I can play a4 here, and then it's white who's in zugzwang, because if they go to c3, we just play king b1 and we promote. And if he goes to c1, we run out and we go win all the other pawns. So that is what happens. Yeah, and this should be quite good. Engine gives mate in 12 here. It says I should play a2 check, and it's mate in 7. Oh, because I can promote this pawn. I like this idea. I think I end up in zigzwang, but no, actually white is the one that has to move their pawn here. They're in zigzwang. Okay, but I don't want to stalemate. Right? Like, if I take that, isn't that stalemate? Oh, it's not, because I can play h takes g4. This would be stalemate. We don't want to do that. We can take here, h5, and the computer's gonna just let them queen. It's kind of funny. So here, 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 and queen would check. That was the fastest way to win. That's kind of fascinating to me. I didn't even consider playing like that. But this is too easy to win like this, right? So yeah. Okay, so that was it. My opponent resigned in this position. So I mean, if you look at the game, this is why I say never trade. Like when I teach students, it's really a Ben Feingold rule. But the reason I say that is because if you trade too much, you can end up in a worse position. I feel like that's what happens to my opponent. Now, he's uncomfortable with the position, but when he takes my knight, it improves my bishop, right? My bishop wants to be here. When he does this, this trade's good for me. I'm getting rid of the defender. I'm getting rid of that bishop, which is like the Catalan bishop, a pseudo-Catalan bishop in this case. But that's usually a beneficial trade for black. That was my bad bishop. This is my good bishop. He still has a bad bishop. So these trades are favoring black, and sure enough, the engine says that it's like minus 0.4 already in black's favor. So trading got white a worse position. Okay, and I don't think I should trade there necessarily, but I did. But I was going for a pawn structure. If you get something out of the trades, then the trades can be good. Yeah, I mean, this is allowing more trades, but here, now I created this isolated pawn. Okay, I was not going to trade, but he traded. Now that improved my bishop. It's, you know, on the weak pawn. Now he's trying to trade again. So like, yeah, this is a great game to show like never trade. Because like I'm just improving my position, not trading, right? Like this would be a mistake. To trade would be a mistake. I'm helping the white king get up, right? So I don't know. I'm just trying to be instructive to like lower rated players right now to show this principle of never, like, don't trade. I say never trade because it's so simple to say and easy to remember. What I really mean is don't trade unless you get something out of it. If you don't get something out of it, then you should just leave the tension. Leave the tension, which lower rated players hate to do. And sometimes I hate to do it too, but yeah, in this part of the game, I could have won more easily with this e5 move, so I think king f8 is fine, but e5, you know, I should be able to calculate this. I was kind of lazy, to be honest. I was like, oh, maybe my back rank's weak, and I was trying to calculate it, and I just wasn't sure if I could play e5, but this was the best move. I played it this way instead, which I would call king f8 like a mistake, you know. I should be able to find e5. It's the way you win earlier. And, you know, as we see later, there's chances for white to make this difficult. But okay, I think b5 was also a mistake, but overall, yeah, and again, never trade. He just wants to trade so bad that he plays this, and that you cannot go into a king of pawn endgame, a pawn down, unless you've calculated it to a draw. And there's just no way this is a draw. So I found one winning line, and one winning line's good enough. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the game and the little instruction at the end. And I'm a chess teacher. It's just so natural for me to do that, I guess. So have a great day, and I'll be back with more chess.